everyone. Welcome to the G-Man Project. My name is Garret Parlett. I graduated from Crestview High School just a couple years ago. We're going to take a deep dive into the sports world and spin it a different way that you've never seen before. Now, welcoming in our very famous guest, Mr. Storm Bluntschly himself. I'll give it up.
What's going on, G-Man? Sorry, it's not to interrupt you, but
it's going great.
Thought I'd have a little bit of time to, introduce myself since, you got to introduce you.
Well, go ahead. Tell the people who you are, Storm, where you've been. We graduated together a couple years ago. What's been going on in the Bluntschly landscape?
Bluntschly landscape, the Bluntschly report, man of many names, Bluntschly, Bunchy, whatever you want to call me. But it's been cool, just been hanging out, working at the OH report. Really excited for another big fall of football, but, it's summertime, so now we're on the G-Man show.
That we are, Storm, and I bring you on here because I'm going to talk about the NBA here in a couple minutes, actually right now. So I guess your biggest takeaways, your biggest winners or losers, I'll let you go first and kind of give me your takeaways. I want to save the Pistons for last because I think we both agree on that. So we'll start, I guess, with your biggest loser of the night.
The biggest loser of the night, unfortunately, was the New York Knicks. Garrett, I know that you were kind of feeling pretty passionate about that as well. So I'll tread a little lightly. I'll let you kind of explain more, but man, it's kind of hard to bring them up without bringing up the Pistons, but they did some questionable things, drafted some questionable guys, and made some definite questionable trades.
Let's talk about those trades, Storm. They first traded the number 11 pick to the Thunder for 3 heavily protected future first-round picks in the coming years. Then in a three-team deal with the Hornets and the Pistons, they dumped Kemba Walker. They would go on to draft Jalen Duren. He would go with Kemba to Detroit. And then they would get that 2025 first-round pick from Portland that you guys got from Portland. So I think the only guy that drafted was Trevor Keels from Duke, who averaged about 11 points per game. And, he's probably not going to make an impact on the team this year. The Knicks have been bad ever since it seems like forever, at least for me, my age and my generation. The last time they were relevant was with Carmelo and Amari Stoudemire, and they still weren't really making a championship run. So I would agree with you that the Knicks were the biggest loser on draft night. It looks like they're going to focus all their eyes towards Jalen Brunson, and maybe he can be their savior. But
that goes along with the trade they made today, where the Pistons are going to get Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. And I know I said last night that I thought that were going to buy him out, but it looks like they're going to keep them. They're on pretty cheap deals. I think they're 1-year deals, so they'll only be on the team for the next year. But Alec Burks is a good veteran type player that can help Cade develop, and Nerlens Noel is, if he has a breakout season, man, he's a trade asset, or someone's gonna have to pay him next year. But the Knicks going after Jalen Brunson, that move just seems like a Hail Mary to me.
I don't really know the whole Jalen Brunson hype. I get he's a good player. He's an above average starter, but he had two good series. He had that really good series against Utah where he averaged 30. Luka was out though the first couple of games of that series, and ever since then, the hype train for Jalen Brunson has been incredible. He's going to get 4 years, $100 million.
He wants $100 million plus, and I don't think he's worth that much. But the thing about him is how good can he be without Luka Doncic? Because no one on the Knicks is even close to Luka Doncic. You're talking to me, their best player is probably Julius Randle or maybe RJ Barrett. That is not even close. So
he's not even a pure one either. He's a shooting guard, but he's 6'3", 6'4". He's very short, isn't he?
He is. And in some lineups, he'll have to be the primary ball handler. He won't have Luka Doncic to create for him or anyone to create for him, really. RJ Barrett's kind of that facilitator, but, like we said, he is nowhere near as good as Luka Doncic.
Well, Storm, let's move on to our biggest NBA draft night winners. And I think you feel very strongly about this. I'm happy for you, buddy. I'm going with the Pistons, but I'll let you really take over and talk about this one because I know this is your squad.
It all worked out perfectly for us. We're not going to get DeAndre Ayton anymore, I don't think. But, man, after the Sacramento Kings drafted Keegan Murray for some reason, and I like Keegan Murray. I thought the Pistons were going to take him if the Kings didn't. But for leaving Jaden Ivey on the board, I think that's going to put a chip on his shoulder. Jaden Ivey, we drafted him at number 5. He's a guy who wants to be in Detroit. He wants to play for the Pistons. What an incredible, just by the grace of God, luck we got from the Sacramento Kings, who are in the running with the Knicks to be the second sorriest team in the NBA right now. And we made some moves. Like you said, we traded that pick we acquired for Jeremy Grant for Jalen Duren, who is a solid center. A lot of guys thought he was going to go top 10. He somehow fell to the Hornets, and we ended up trading for him. So that's going to be awesome. And even from the reports I've been hearing, maybe we don't go after Miles Bridges anymore. I don't know. I think we're going to kind of save our money and have a bunch of money next year in free agency.
Well, the Pistons got slided this year in the lottery because they were one of the worst teams, and they fell to the 5th pick. And kind of another discussion and debate is the lottery, whether it should be changed or not, because that's kind of crummy the way that turned out. But still able to get Jaden Ivey, one of the top premier talents in the draft from the University of Purdue, super athletic. I've heard some comparisons of maybe another John Morant. So I guess we'll see going forward. But yeah, what a night for Detroit. And what do you really expect coming up from this season, Storm, for Detroit? You think maybe a playoff team, fringe playoff team, or just maybe they won 23 games? You think maybe 30 games, 35?
Unfortunately, this is a tank season again, and that's okay. I'm okay with that because all we really want from this year is for our young guys to get developed. C2 needs to get he doesn't need to get a lot better. He will get a lot better. Jaden Ivey needs to step into his shoes and make an impact as a rookie. And then Beef Stew, a guy not a lot of people talk about, Isaiah Stewart. He started to develop that outside jump shot, so we'll see if he can space the floor. I think there's going to be a fire lit under him because we drafted Jalen Duren, another center. So we'll see who's going to win that starting role. But the real thing I'm excited for, even more so, is next year's free agency class because, it is loaded. You have a ton of guys who are going to be under contract, like Paul George. I think Kawhi's is up. LeBron's a free agent. There are a lot of big names next year.
Technically, he'll probably get a crazy deal.
And we're going to have I think we're going to be able to give away 2 max contracts. So Detroit's kind of looking like the spot, man. I don't know.
Maybe they draft Bronny and then bring LeBron.
Bronny in the late 2nd round.
Be championship contenders, to say the least. But
isn't that crazy? LeBron at 39? You put him on the Pistons, who won 23 games in their championship.
Well, the Pistons got a good roster too. I think he could legitimately they could go to the finals if they put LeBron on there next year and got maybe another max player kind of guy. They would have a shot.
The thing I like the most about the Pistons too is we're defensive, how we have always been. Like Beef Stew is just a mean guy. He's like Draymond Green. Cade Cunningham's a defensive pest. Jaden Ivey's super athletic. He's going to be a pest on defense as well. We just have an amazing young core that's super into defense. And dude, Troy Weaver could be, I think, the best GM in basketball. It's insane how much the phrase trust in Troy has meant. 2 years and the guy has turned the entire ship around. It's been pretty wild.
Well, now NBA season has now turned its ugly heel. That's over with now. I had to get back into the NBA this year because, man, football, it really ended pretty sadly for my squad. But I'm going to transition into the best NFL stadiums that I've been to, and maybe you guys can give me some suggestions, of which ones I should go to. I'll start with number 4 last year, Lambeau Field up in Green Bay. Now, I know it's iconic to you guys. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Bart Starr. This place is a glorified dump. It seriously is. And that's not even being a biased, like rival fan. It's really not very good at all. It's glorified bleacher seats. Like, you walk in, there's one level. The entire thing. Like, as you look around, it's just all bleacher seats. The restrooms are kind of disgusting.
Is it trough urinal?
Yes. It's
oh my God, I would puke.
The only thing that was really cool about Lambeau was the outside stuff to the stadium. They had a big Lombardi trophy that you could stand next to, and it was probably 300 feet in the air. It was super cool. Other than that, the stadium itself, it also sucked that I went in negative 15-degree weather. So Lambeau is my number 4 on the list. Number 3, First Energy Stadium up in Cleveland, up on the lake.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Now, I don't have a lot of hate for this. It was kind of just a basic stadium. Nothing really stood out to me. I also I wasn't rooting for anybody in the game. It was Ravens versus Browns the week that Lamar went out, so I really didn't have a dog in the fight. Kind of just went there to enjoy the stadium, enjoy the atmosphere, because it's so cool to go see a game in person. But the Browns fans, I guess, were the coolest. They were super rowdy. The Mooney lot is super dope, but First Energy Stadium just kind of bland. The parking sucks, and the traffic was incredibly bad.
Dude, downtown Cleveland is horrible. It's awful.
It was trash. Me and my buddy, we got off on the wrong exit, and like we literally had to walk in as
like a 40-minute
I
detour.
literally walked down the steps, and they kicked the ball off. Like, and we were there. We were supposed to be there like an hour early.
And the lake effect wind and snow and all the cold from the lake.
That's what sucks too for those poor Browns fans, because they gotta sit outside.
Yeah, first off, they don't have anyone to root for, and then they have to sit outside. They don't even get a Superdome.
They haven't won. Well, they won one the other year, but they hadn't won a playoff game in 18 years. Had to sit in the snow, sit in that cold, frigid wind. Yeah, First Energy Stadium's third on my list.
Dog Pound's pretty cool, though. That's like one of the cooler names for like a fan.
They got cool fans. Like, they're super loyal, and they care.
They're not rude or anything. Like,
No,
I don't want to like be mean or anything, but I just feel like Browns fans would be rude.
No, they were cool. They're accepting.
That's cool.
I mean, if you're a rival, like
the Ravens or something.
Jersey, they were gonna.
I guess if you lose all that much, you become humble. Like, I feel like the Lions fans would be really nice because we lose so much. What do we have to be mean about?
I want to add that the Packers fans were very nice.
Were they really? That actually surprises me a lot too.
I was very surprised. They were really cool to me when I was down there.
And you're a division rival.
I was decked out in purple, so.
Were you the only Vikings fan in your section?
No.
Were there a lot?
I had I forget his name. It was like a famous Vikings. He goes to all the games. He's got like these pins on his hat. He wears like a Vikings thing. He was super cool. He sat right in front of me. Big guy too. Very intimidating. So
that's probably why no one wanted to mess with you. You're probably the two biggest dudes in the section.
But yeah. So First Energy Stadium is third out of my 4 rankings here. Paul Brown Stadium down in Cincinnati. I went to that game, Minnesota versus Cincinnati in week 1 last year. Now, I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. I didn't think Cincinnati was going to be super cool, but their downtown really helps their stadium. It's super cool. There's a lot of things to go see there, a lot of cool bars and cool places to go look around. And the fans were super fun. That was probably the most fun I had with fans because, like, you could talk back and forth, and they'd have a lot of fun with it. So the one guy in my section was super dope. We were talking crap back and forth after every single play. So Paul Brown Stadium, I think, gets crapped on a lot, but I think it's a pretty solid stadium in itself. So I would rather go to Paul Brown Stadium than Cleveland, just because I think it's closer to some more things to do. The stadium for Cleveland is kind of separated just a bit from downtown, so I'd rather go to Paul Brown Stadium. They land number 2 on G-Man's best NFL stadiums I've been to. List.
Here we go. I'm ready for this surprise, everyone.
U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Out of this list, that is not biased at all. It's indoors. You don't have to worry about weather. It's got the nicest facilities by far.
No trough.
There's no trough.
I can't believe Lambeau has a trough.
And just looking at it from the outside, it looks the best.
Yeah.
It's the newest, so that also helps. Lambeau Field, the oldest, and wonder why it's number 4. It's just outdated. This stuff's just there to outdate it. It's cool to go see history and stuff, but like Minnesota's just, they can just control. They set out snow in the air when they introduce the guys, and it's just easier to. And I feel like it's louder, which helps because it's in a dome.
Yeah.
So
12th man.
Easier. Yeah. It was way more fun. Of course, I'm a Vikings fan, so maybe that played a little bit of a factor into that it was more fun for me. But we also lost that game.
That is true. Have you been to a win yet? Yeah.
We've lost every time. We lost at Green Bay. We lost at Cincinnati week 1 last year, and then we lost Halloween night against the Cowboys. So
2 questions for you now.
my team sucks, if you didn't know.
Well, all mine do too. So for someone who's never been to an indoor NFL stadium, what's the temperature like? Like, do they keep it cold in there? Like, is it freezing or is it like hot? Or like, that's the biggest thing I've always thought. Because like
I wore a hoodie and I took it off when I got inside.
Really?
It's not like steaming, but like it gets hot because there's so many people and they're screaming and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't say it's like, I wouldn't be like sweating.
That was the thing that I always wondered about is like, so for an indoor stadium, what would the like temperature feel like? Because like, I don't know, if I was a whoever controls the conditioning, I wouldn't want my players to be like cold. I would want to keep it like at least a little warm, so they can stay warmed up.
San Antonio did with LeBron.
They broke the AC.
The AC, so LeBron cramped up and I get carried off. But yeah, it's not crazy hot or cold. I guess it's just kind of
All right.
It's all right.
My second question is, do you think Lambeau might be the worst stadium to visit in all of the NFL?
No, because I think you got to go see that stadium. There's been too many great players to come through there.
Okay, but no, history aside, if you're just looking to enjoy,
then it's it's bad.
You think out of all 30 teams there are, it's the worst one?
It depends every year, like, because how good your team is. Like, I wouldn't want to go watch the Jaguars.
But would you rather go watch the Jaguars and
I would rather go
not use a trough?
Go to Green Bay.
Or use a trough?
Because Green Bay was boring.
Dude, the trough's a deal breaker.
Dude, Green Bay was boring. It was just like...
It was all football? That was it?
It was just like town. Like, there was nothing like super
Isn't it like
unique
right
to
near a suburb? It's like not even a downtown?
It's like behind like a trailer park. It's like the trailer park, and then you kind of like... It's in a neighborhood, which is kind of cool. It's unique, but... It was bad. I did not have much fun.
It's the troughs, man. I can't. I don't want.
No, they had a bratwurst there that I had.
Was it $13?
It was tough. I mean, it was like 15. But
sounds tough though.
It was amazing. Well, speaking of bratwurst, Storm, this is big to us. This means a lot to us. The build your own backyard plate, barbecue style. It is summertime. Cookouts are going down on the grill. I'll let you go first, Storm. You got 5 items. I don't care what you put on it. Don't matter the sides. If you just want all meat, whatever you want, go ahead, Storm. Let me know what you want on it.
Mine is definitely a cheeseburger. That's kind of
it's a staple. I mean, that's a safe pick.
Now, if I say I want 2 bratwursts, does that count as 2 items, or am I at 2 or 3? Is it 5 different items?
Oh, yeah. Because I had the same issue.
All right, I'm taking a cheeseburger, 2 bratwursts. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Baked beans.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're not a big beans guy, but dude, I love I just had baked beans the other day. And 4 is, I want to say fruit, but that's a cop-out. I'll say watermelon as the specific fruit. So cheeseburger, 2 bratwursts, baked beans, and watermelon.
A little bit of healthy. Healthy. I didn't pick anything healthy.
Well, maybe not. Maybe pasta salad. Let me hear yours.
All right.
My 5th was kind of weird. I didn't really know.
All right. So bratwurst has got to be on there. This is in no order.
How many?
1.
Okay, 1.
I'll take 1.
First off, I was about to say, there's no way you're just having 1 meat item.
No. There's multiple here. So bratwurst. I'll take a steak. And sleeper here. I don't know. I might get some bad reactions from some of the fans here, but barbecue pork chop. I have to have, especially if it's my father's, which are incredible. I got to have a barbecue pork chop, and then I'm going with 2 sides. I just got recently kind of on this kick. 1, obviously mashed potatoes. 2, broccoli and cheese.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's kind of healthy,
I guess that's kind
though.
of healthy.
Yeah.
I do take it back, but
the only thing is like 3 different types of meat. That's weird to me. I like it, but I don't.
I know. I see your thing, but like my thing is when I'm going up to get a plate, I'm thinking, what do I want? I'm not a big like hamburger guy.
Yeah, so you really don't like hamburgers.
I'll see a brat, I'll be like, I want a brat, but I want a steak, but I want a barbecue pork chop.
Dude,
I can't pass up his pork
No
chops.
Chicken from either of us. That's crazy.
No, dude. I feel like grilled chicken, like
it's not the same.
Dry.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. So
if you could grill fried chicken, then it would be way different. My list would be a lot different. But
dry.
Yeah, it's dry. The new thing for me is pasta salad. I don't know why I like it so much. It's weird.
See, I've never been able to get down with any of those.
Any of the salads, macaronis. Do you even like ham salad sandwich?
No.
You don't like any sort of
no
weird salad.
I don't get down with any salad.
Not even like leaves and greens.
No, I'll get down with those.
I like regular salads a lot actually, but no, not a bad list at all. I forgot about steak kind of.
It's making me sweat. Now I'm like kind of thinking maybe I made a wrong choice.
The thing is though, is 5 items is hard because when I eat at a barbecue, my stomach turns bottomless. It's like you unlock a new signature skill in 2K or something. It's like when I eat at a barbecue, I could keep going forever. You don't get full. Regular meal, you get full at some point. I feel like when you're at a barbecue, I could eat like 50 hot dogs. As long as they're grilled. I'm not eating 50 boiled dogs. I'll eat half a boiled dog and I'll probably throw it up later.
All right, well, that's going to be it for the first episode of the G-Man Project. Me and Storm appreciate you guys tuning in.